Everton 1, Chelsea 0. If ever a win was required by a team in trouble, it was today, Shaka Hislop. And what a win it was for Everton.
Yeah, it was for so many reasons. Frank Lampard, his former club that, of course, managed and played so many years for. Everton in the bottom three, just given the form of Burnley under Mike Jackson. Leeds are now sucked into it. Well, on the back of one result. But as Everton sit in the bottom three, 2 games in hand, you think, okay, well, if you win the games, great. But when you're down the bottom, winning games is the problem. That's why you're down there.
Yep.
So games in hand is no consolation at all. And then you welcome Chelsea. And this was always going to be a difficult one maybe to predict because Chelsea are good. They're third in the table for a reason. But I don't think that third spot is in any danger. Chelsea's season now hinging on the FA Cup to come. So which Chelsea do you get? And will that version be one that Everton can get the better of? And I think that was a big question coming into this one. And Everton come out, I'll say more than just unscathed, 3 points when they needed it most, and maybe you weren't quite sure if they had enough to get it.
Goodison Park was like a bear pit. The fans did their job. The players' intensity, they were at it from minute one. Frank Lampard said in his pre-match press conference, they had to be. And they had a certain Jordan Pickford in goal, Shaka, who played rather well.
Yeah, let me tell you, you need, to get results like this, you need everything to come together. You mentioned the fans. I thought they were absolutely fantastic. You mentioned the players and how Everton went about the game. I thought Everton made it into a bit of a scrap early on, into a kind of physical, emotional battle, which serves the lesser of the 2 teams better. And don't get me wrong, I'm with all the greatest of respect, Chelsea are third top and Everton are third bottom for a reason. So that served Everton a whole lot better. They got the little bit of luck they deserved for that with the goal. And then Jordan Pickford, who at times has come in for a lot of criticism, has proven his worth. Without question, the man of the match. And without question, a save to keep Everton in it that was the best I've seen this season, the best I've seen for quite some time. What a moment to produce that save. What a game to produce that performance. Well done, Jordan.
Before we get to the run-in, a quick word about Chelsea. Kai Havertz is a very, very talented footballer. Timo Werner knows where the goals are, especially for his country, but together, it's not really worked over the past few weeks, has it, for them? And they didn't really look like, despite the fact there were 7.5, nearly 8 minutes added on, that they could be playing a lot longer and still not score.
Yeah, on the one hand, I want to say that's kind of down to Everton and Jordan Pickford, who I thought dealt with everything that came at them. But then that's the conundrum for Thomas Tuchel. You have incredibly talented footballers in Havertz, in Werner, and in Lukaku.
Who was unused
not really
today,
been able
Shaka.
to. What's that?
Lukaku unused today. They needed a goal. They didn't trust him.
Yeah, but that's the conundrum for Tuchel. That all 3 of them incredibly talented. Well, I don't think you can really question how good footballers all 3 of those are. Yet you've not been able to get a tune out of any of them. At times, Havertz has been good. Werner has threatened because of his pace, and I kind of think people want Werner to somehow turn a corner, and he just never has. And Lukaku maybe started well enough, but has fallen off, and I just can't find any kind of a rhythm. And now you have one of the best managers in world football, one of the best clubs in world football, and you just can't figure out either of those 3. Whether you play one on his own, whether you play them as a duo, if you just threw all three of them at a problem, it's never worked. And if Thomas Tuchel cannot figure it out, I certainly am not going to be beating my head against a brick wall trying to explain why the three of them have been this poor. But as you point out, Mark, and rightly so, that falls on the doorstep of Havertz and Werner today. Because you're right, we are talking about one of the best teams in European football, still defending European champions, and yet still they lack a punch at times that you don't expect of clubs of that pedigree.
They're not the story today. Everton are. And I want to end with the Toffees and the run-in. Burnley, Leeds, Everton. So Everton have got that extra game to play, Shaq. They go to Leicester. Then they go to Watford. They're at home to Brentford, at home to Palace, and they end at Arsenal. Decent run-in. Leeds away to Arsenal, home to Chelsea, home to Brighton, home to Newcastle. Better end than a start for Leeds there. And Burnley, home to Villa, away to Spurs, away to Villa, and away to Brentford. It's advantage who right now, with Everton in 18th on 32, Leeds in 17th on 34, and Burnley in 16th on 34, but with a better goal difference than Leeds.
I'd be really honest with you, Mark. I'm not sure where the advantage falls. A week or so ago on FC, I predicted that Everton would finish higher than Burnley and probably put a little bit more of a gap between themselves and Burnley. And then Burnley under Mike Jackson, goodness me. I just didn't see them being this good. Very good turnaround from them yesterday. Leeds have been sucked back into that relegation dogfight. But you lose to Liverpool. There's no real shame in that. And under Jesse Marsh, Leeds before yesterday, 3 wins and 2 draws in the previous 5. That is incredible form. Everton are kicking themselves over throwing away a halftime lead against Burnley. That for me has been the difference. Again, you lose to Liverpool, no big deal. Turnaround today is impressive. It's one that you can build on. So I really don't know who's in the better position. Right now, certainly momentum is with Burnley. So I'm kind of thinking they are in the best position. But can this keep on? As I say, a week ago, I predicted no. And as hard as they're trying to change my mind, they're doing a pretty good job of it, I have to say. I don't know. I really don't know who finishes in the bottom 3 here. Give me another week or two. How about
That's fair. Look, I admire the honesty. It's impossible to predict with any certainty. That's the bottom line, because which Everton are going to show up for the remaining games? If it's the Everton that we saw today, then they should be safe. Burnley have got the momentum. Leeds are getting dragged into it despite losing to Manchester City yesterday. The bottom line is Everton's chances of survival, Shaq, are a heck of a lot better than they were had they not have taken 3 points today. Everton win this one against Chelsea. It could be a huge 3 points. And Goodison at the end was absolutely bouncing.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.